What's up, you guys? Aditi. Welcome back to our channel. I want to put one question to you. How would you feel if you could never forget? मतलब जितना भी पढ़ाई किया, you just read it once, you remember it for the rest of your life. And I used to always think that it would be such an amazing thing for humans to evolve and never forget. But as I've grown up, I've realized that forgetting is actually a survival mechanism. So imagine maybe something has happened in your life, a tragedy, you lost someone, something that's terrible. And if you could never forget it, you will never be able to move on and get on with your life. So in that sense, forgetting is actually a survival mechanism. And it actually keeps us sane and it's good for our mental health. And there's this Herman Ebbinghaus. He's the first researcher who actually researched on forgetting. So he came up with these syllables that don't make any sense. They are meaningless, but they're pronunciable, and they don't have any verbal associations that will help him remember them. So something like GEX, VOL, or DAG, something like that is pronunciable, but it doesn't have any meaning. So he memorized the list, and then he waited for a little while. He tried to retrieve the list, and every time he did that, he graphed his result. So the result is what we call as the curve of forgetting. If you see, the graph clearly shows that forgetting happens very, very quickly, like within the first hour after learning the list, and then it tapers off gradually. And this can be applied to any kind of information you want to remember. And I have spoken about how we can use this to remember information in this video. So you can go and check that out because I don't want this video to be too long. So the curve of forgetting shows us that we tend to forget the information after we have learnt it. But there has to be some reason behind it, right? Like, why do we forget? What happens? And how can we stop it? So let's see the first reason. The first reason is कि अगर कुछ अंदर जाएगा ही नहीं तो बाहर कैसे आएगा? So the simplest reason is that if the information doesn't get encoded, if it doesn't get stored in the memory, you cannot retrieve it. And I've spoken about encoding and storage and retrieval and all of that in this video, so you can check that out. But I'll just explain here in short. So if you want any kind of information to get into sensory memory, then you have to pay attention to it. So if you don't pay attention to any information, then it does not get processed into memory, which is known as encoding failure. So for a memory to be formed, physical changes takes place within the brain, actually within the neurons, like changes in the number of receptor sites, change in the sensitivity in the synapse to repeated stimulation, changes in dendrites and proteins in the neurons. So all of this takes place when a memory is formed. And these physical changes that takes place for a memory to be formed are called as memory trace. And over time, if these traces are not used, the memory starts to decay, or you can say fade. Let's take a very easy example of something that we studied in school, maybe in 5th standard or 8th standard or something like Panipat ki ladai kab hui thi. I mean, we know it, but we don't remember the year, the date or anything of the sort, because that memory that we had of that information, it kind of decays because it is not used. So like I already said, that if you don't pay attention to any information, then it does not get encoded in sensory memory. If you don't continuously rehearse the information that's in short-term memory, it will decay. And when it comes to long-term memory, then if the traces are not used, then that memory tends to decay. Coming to the third point, does this ever happen to you that your grandparents call you by their kid's name instead of your name? Or when you change your phone number and if somebody asks you for your phone number, you tend to give your old phone number instead of the new one. It's known as interference theory. Memories are more or less permanently stored in long-term memory, but other information may tend to interfere when you're trying to retrieve this information. So that is interference theory. So one type of interference theory is proactive interference. Proactive interference is where a previously learnt material interferes with the retrieval of recently learned material. Okay, so previously learned material interferes with retrieval of recently learned material. So to give you an example, I don't know how many of you can actually relate to this, because most of my audience or WW community is like around 17 to 20 years old, even a little bit till 25. So I don't know how many people of you drive, but when I started driving, I drove a manual car for like 5 to 6 years, and then my dad changed from manual to automatic. So the difference between manual and automatic car is that in manual car, whenever you have to speed your car, you have to change the gears from 2 to 3 to 4 to 5, whereas in both automatic car you don't have to do anything with the gears. एक बार सिर्फ D में डाल दो, which means drive, and you can just go on, and वो automatic gears पड़ते रहता है, you know. So when I started driving automatic, my left hand would automatically go to the gear to change the gear, you know. So that is proactive interference, where the recently learned material, like I've always driven a manual car, that information was interfering every time I was driving an automatic car, which is the recent learned material. And even the examples I gave you earlier, where you tend to give your old phone number instead of your new one, it's proactive interference. And even where your grandparents tend to call you by their kid's name accidentally instead of your name, even that is proactive interference. Now the opposite of this is retroactive interference, where recently learned material interferes when you are trying to retrieve something that you have previously learned or you have learned earlier. So to give you the car wala example, now it's been 4 to 5 years now I've driven an automatic car, and once I had to drive a manual car of my neighbor, and it took me a while to realize that oh, I'm not changing the gear, इसलिए वो गाड़ी चालू नहीं हो रही थी. So now that I've got used to driving an automatic car, it's difficult for me to remember कि manual car में क्या करती थी. Even when I started learning French, after a few years of learning French, what would happen is that I started getting confused with some spellings of English words. So like for example, like professor in English and professeur in French, they're pretty similar. So I remember the French spelling really well, but every time I had to like write the English spelling, I would make mistakes, thinking like कि double F है, single F है, E है, O है, क्या है. That's retroactive interference. And these are the main reasons why we forget things. So if you have learned from something from this video, then before you forget, please give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to this channel, join the community, hit the bell notification, and I'll see you next Friday with another psychology video. Bye. कसे मरत असं दुपारी झोपा ना शांतपैकी.